Welcome back to the HemisFair Arena here in San Antonio, Texas, in the USA. Welcome Ncita, the champion out of East London, South Africa, goes against Hurley Snead, ranked number 4 by the IBF. And from Detroit, Michigan, for the IBF Junior Featherweight Championship, Sam Smith, along with Robin Welch, back once again, and we hope you enjoyed that Dan Van Horn fight, because that was one that not only was a surprise to those, they were in attendance, but I think around the world. Now, we find out about another champion today. Lindell Holmes, of course, found out Van Horn was too much for him. How about Snead against Ncita today? You've been around Welcome so much, and you know how well he prepares himself. How about this fight? How has he prepared himself to get ready to defend the title today, Robert?
Well, he certainly prepared himself very well, Sam. Not in keeping with his normal routine. He wasn't able to come to Chicago to the Kronk Gym because the fight should have been somewhere else. In Sun City, Botswana. Therefore, he only had 15 days to come to the States, so he hasn't been to the Kronk Gym to have his usual fine tune-up. He's been here with his mentor for some time in San Antonio, been doing a lot of road work. He's well prepared as ever.
Now, when you take a look at his preparation and the way they want to fight this, again, the question mark, and we put that on Snead, how does Welcome go into the ring? What does he look to do in the first early rounds of this fight today?
Well, as I said earlier on, according to his trainer, today they know full well against Rojas they played the wrong game. Today they want to come out aggressively. They want to feel what this man Snead can do. I think they're going to kind of ride it for a few rounds, but Welcome will not be the passive partner he was in the fight we last saw.
Now, when you take a look at fighting in San Antonio, Texas, as a matter of fact, most of the South Africans find out it's very difficult to quite obviously fight out of the country, but now he's becoming more acclimated to being away from South Africa and really feels right at home wherever he's fighting, it seems.
Well, Sam, he hasn't really fought in South Africa apart from one outing in the last 3.5 years, so he's now a world traveler. He's become a Brian Mitchell. They have to fight overseas. They do the job. They go home. They take the accolade, and back they come overseas once again.
You know, Hurley Snead, we talked about at the top of the show about a possible eye problem that has been cleared by the Texas Commission, and he himself feels like he's ready to fight here at the HemisFair. This is a guy that lost his 5th professional fight. In the next 5 years, did not lose a single fight, and has lost only 3 over his entire career. Now, at 31 years of age, the question mark is, how much does he have against this man? We know for one thing, he likes to slice inside. The reach advantage we mentioned at the top of the show, it's got to be a big advantage for Welcome again.
Well, there's a couple of factors there, Sam, we brought up. One of the eyes. Can Snead really see that well? Secondly, he hasn't fought for a year. Now, he says he hasn't fought for a year. We don't know really why, but he says because his manager died and he's been in mourning for 1 year. He took the year off. The real question, as we said, what condition is Snead in? He looks pretty good to us. We've seen him in training. We've seen him at the weigh-in. He looks pretty good.
The crowd here at the HemisFair Arena, and we were just reminiscing back to 1979 when a guy by the name of Little Red Lopez came in to fight Mike Ayala. They had nearly 12,000 fans, which was an all-time record at that time in the state of Texas for a championship fight. And they were literally hanging from the rafters. I had the pleasure of being here in San Antonio and watching that. We won't have that kind of crowd, but we get a feeling, Robin, from some of the early fights that this crowd may be ready for some good action today.
Well, you know this stadium very well, Sam. This is a real humdinger stadium. You were the resident host here for nearly 3 years, so you should know your hall. You should know the atmosphere it can build up. We've got a good crowd here this afternoon. A very hot hall. Outside nearly 100 degrees. Inside, I think we're going to go above 100 degrees with this great boxing we've got coming up.
You know, we hate to belabor the fact of how Welcome gets prepared for this particular fight, but let's talk about the way that he does prepare as far as his regiment of preparation. Sparring, working the bag. Does he do anything different outside of what the normal fighter of his weight class and the junior featherweights might do to get ready for a fight?
I don't think so, Sam. I think he just is a thoughtful fighter. He thinks about what he's going to do. His body's always in good condition. Even though he's a small man, the weight problem is never there. He keeps himself really well tuned. He's always ready for a fight. He could probably take on a world title fight at 15 days notice at any time if he wants. Well, here we got a group coming in. This is the Hurley Snead camp. Let's see how they look as they come into the ring right now.
Well, Snead at 31 years of age, 5'2", weighed in at 119.5 pounds. And again, Hurley from Detroit, Michigan. Dr. Prescription is his nickname. Said he's got a prescription he'd like to give to Welcome today, and we'll
Maybe
find out.
Bad medicine, Sam.
Bad medicine indeed. He also is a young man that, just like Welcome, and we will allude to the fact before this telecast is all over, of a very religious young man in Welcome Ncita. He, of course, back in his dressing room, his preparation is very much a mental preparation as much as physical. And you saw Hurley Snead there for a moment just pause and maybe think a higher source, if you will, for the strength and, of course, the endurance to fight today against the world champion. This has to be, and I think he alluded to it in the paper, Robin, a last hurrah for a 31-year-old man. Even though he's 39-3-1, this is a good chance to get a world championship and even a better title shot.
Well, dare I say it, Sam, Hurley Snead is an Edison light meter reader, so is he going to see the light this afternoon? I don't know. Are his thoughts going to be illuminated? We can go on with these puns the whole afternoon, but I think for Hurley Snead, this is the be or do, the end all of anything for him. He's got to really go for it this afternoon. I think he's had the capabilities of being a fighter in the past of great caliber. Whether it's still there, I think we're going to see this afternoon. He may be able to pull one out of his boots.
Well, you watching in the wings now. Here comes Welcome walking out of the shadows. And, of course, this crowd will well relate to the world champion coming in to the HemisFair Arena. And now, like traffic cops, they're out waving him off, so they won't let him come in for just a moment.
I think interesting, Sam, Welcome always comes into the ring looking very serious. He has this mask. He calls himself the Hawk. It looks like the Hawk of Death. That mask on his face, very serious. Outside the ring, a charming guy, full of smiles, but once inside, he's the real pro. That stern face, he's thinking about what he's been doing. He's been there for 2 hours, meditating, cogitating, putting himself through the paces, trying to think exactly how he's going to run this fight.
In addition, of course, to his advisors who have traveled from South Africa with him, Luther Burgess, a very veteran trainer. You see him just off to his left and behind him. And also working in his corner will be an excellent cut man, and Ace Murata will be working in that corner this afternoon for the champion, Welcome Ncita, as he gets ready to come in and protect, hopefully, that 28-0 record today.
Ace, of course, thankfully recovered from a serious surgery, now back with us, one of the all-time great cutmen, I think.
And here comes the champion.
Interesting, I think, to pick up, Sam, also that Welcome Ncita is a graduate of the Kronk Gym. I think he'd like to say that. Hurley Snead is also a graduate of the Kronk Gym. They weren't there together, but they both trained in that holy ground of boxing with Emmanuel Stewart.
Well, they, of course, will be separated today, and there's the champion, Welcome Ncita, into the ring. First time he will have fought here in San Antonio, and he hopes to make it a successful one. But Hurley Snead across the ring obviously would like to derail him if he could, as he makes another title defense of his IBF junior featherweight title. There you get a good look at the belt, and that is some nice-looking hardware for him.
Fourth title defense coming up for Welcome Ncita. Been champ now since March 1990. Took the title of Fabrice Beneshu, unexpectedly, I think we may add. Beneshu being a real slugger. Welcome got in there, boxed him beautifully, took the title in March in Tel Aviv, Israel.
It have been as much as a surprise as Darren Van Horn's win over Lindell Holmes that we had just moments ago. Well, we're ready for the IBF Junior Featherweight 12-rounder, and Gordon Wood is our ring announcer.
Here is San Antonio, Texas, Cedric Custer Productions Limited in association with Rich Reindeer Productions, proudly presents our co-main event of the afternoon, scheduled at 12 rounds of boxing for the International Boxing Federation Super Bantamweight Championship of the World. Your matchmaker is Bill Benton. The president of the International Boxing Federation, USBA, is Robert Lee Sr. Your supervisor for today's matches at ringside, Robert Lee Jr. The three judges doing all the scoring, Ronnie Ralston from Houston, Texas, Jim Traylor from Virginia Beach, Virginia, and all the way from Copenhagen, Denmark, let's welcome Torben Hansen. Your referee in charge of today's co-main event, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome from Houston, Texas, international boxing referee, he is Bobby Gonzalez. And now, my good friends, let's meet the principals first. He's boxing to my left out of the blue corner. This young man wearing the solid black trunks with the white trim, he weighed in at 8 stone 7 1/4 pounds, 119 1/4 pounds. This young man has had a fabulous pro career, 39 wins, only 3 defeats, 1 draw, 1 no contest, 26 of those 39 wins coming by knockout. He's from Motown, Detroit, Michigan. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Hurley, Dr. Prescription Snead. And his opponent. Boxing to my right out of the red corner, he's the champion. Ladies and gentlemen, wearing the solid green trunks with the white trim, and he too weighing in at a fit, fighting, and ready 8 stones 10 pounds, 121 pounds. This young man, undefeated as a professional, 28 consecutive wins, 14 of those wins coming by knockout, all the way from East London, South Africa. He's the current International Boxing Federation Junior Featherweight Champion of the world. Welcome, the Hawk, Ncita! Ncita!
I instructed gentlemen in the dressing room, you're both professional fighters. Conduct yourself as such. Good luck to both of you. Protect yourself at all times. May the best man win.
The third man in the ring, Roberto Gonzalez, with a brief reminder that he has already given them the rules. And speaking of rules, there are some interesting ones here in the state of Texas. There is a 3 knockdown rule will be used in this championship fight today, but there's no standing 8 count. So keep that in mind should a fighter get into any kind of trouble. Also, a fighter cannot be saved by the belt in any round. And if for any foreseeable reason there is any kind of stoppage of this fight before the 6th round, a la a foul, it would be a technical draw. However, if it is after the 6th round, they would go to the scorecards. And if it ends on a flagrant foul, the champion would retain his championship today, based if it does not go the full 6 rounds. So there are some interesting rules for you to meditate as we get ready for round 1. And in the white, Ncita. In the black is Snead. Round 1 of scheduled 12-rounder.
Well, both fighters here, Sam, coming out very, very quickly, nippily, strongly as we thought. Ncita certainly different the first 20 seconds from against Babyjo Rojas. Interesting, the welcome for Ncita was very, very lukewarm, very, very down-key. Hurley Snead certainly got the crowd with him. Probably will work well for Ncita. He doesn't feel he has to live up to anything. He's on his own. He's got to get out there and fight.
Welcome got the welcome, if you will, from San Antonio as he walked out. But as Robin pointed out, it did turn a little lukewarm inside the ring, and now he'll have to win it back as he fights against what looks like to be a very well-conditioned 31-year-old Hurley Snead at this time. Snead, you see, pawing with that left jab. Neither fighter is really connected with any kind of blows as of yet, with the exception of a pretty good left cross right there by Welcome. Snead trying to dive in with the right hand, leads with the left. Both of these fighters, good foot speed. You will not see them standing in front of each other very much.
I think from the beginning here, Sam, we can see both these fighters have got styles which enable a fight to happen. I think in the time of the Rojas fight in Italy, Rojas was very difficult for Welcome Ncita, in the same way that Darren Van Horn couldn't fight against Rossi. Just couldn't do a thing against him. This happens, I think, here. We've got 2 fighters that are going to give us a good performance.
When you take a look at junior featherweights, many times you do not anticipate the knockouts, but 25 of the 39 wins by Hurley Snead have come by the knockout route. 14, exactly half of the 28 wins by Welcome Ncita have come via the knockout route.
I think we can see already, Sam, the extra length here, Welcome Ncita. He's able to push that left out and just keep Hurley Snead down a little bit, just away from him if he wants to. There we saw it again, that left clipping the left eye there of Snead.
Snead, when he dives in with that left jab, and watch him as he goes to the body, could be a little suspect for an overhand right hand here by Welcome. And that will be something that will be forecast in later rounds, I'm sure, from both corners. A rather evenly fought first round of a 12-round scheduled championship fight.
Nice balance by both fighters here. I think one of the outstanding things at the gym with Welcome Ncita is this excellent balance. That Snead is also nicely balanced, has nice footing. They look very good, these two.
After 43, should I say, professional fights, Snead is a long way away from his amateur record, but it is a good one at 49-19. A 3-time Michigan Golden Gloves champion and a 2-time Michigan AAU champion, while across the way, Welcome 80-5, and quite obviously an outstanding fighter in his own right. Won the Bantamweight title in the amateurs back in 1983, so they knew he was something special early on, Robin.
I sure did. Same with Welcome Ncita. They knew he was special from early on. He was able to come through the ranks very quickly, get an SA title at a lighter weight, finally give it up, but he's been around some years, but he was a special fighter right from the beginning. Mnet Supersport in particular picked him up many years ago, Watched him, came through. He's a great fighter too. That score there, Sam, I think that was an even Steven round.
I think it was. Neither one of the fighters really had that much of an advantage, even though both were able to land at least a punch or two, but that was about it. And that was pretty much what we expected, Robin. We said it was going to be a feeling-out round, but now as we move into round number 2, it'll be interesting to see if that overhand right that we mentioned by Welcome and what Snead does to try to get himself into the fight here. Round 2, scheduled for 12. Snead in the black. Welcome Ncita is the champion in the white. Kind of a pawing left hand in the face of the champion by Snead. Good concentration, focus on both of the faces of these two challengers here this afternoon. Snead wildly throwing the right hand. Welcome with that good foot speed, just stepping away from it.
We're also already seeing here, Sam, Welcome here trying some different shots. A couple of uppercuts he's trying just now. We didn't see that in the first round. He's obviously thought about it, realizes maybe there's an opening there. Coming over with that overarm right as well.
Snead trying to paw his way in behind the left jab, but didn't do anything, and a warning by referee Roberto Gonzalez for a possible hold by Welcome. He smiles, waves it off, goes back to business.
Ncita coming forward more aggressively in this round. This is exactly what Ncita, the trainer, told me. They'd feel it out, but they're going to be more aggressive in this fight than they were in the last. Good left there from Ncita.
And having watched that last fight, you indicated that he needed to fight a much better fight than he fought against Rojas. One thing that's so good about Welcome is the fact that he does have that great foot speed, and he comes to you from angles. He'll bounce right, throw the right hand. He'll bounce left, throw the left. It is always a very, very elusive target to try to hit.
I think you picked up a good point there, Sam. Ncita camp, they said they were also looking for angles, but Ncita ships a blow there.
Snead trying to recover after throwing a pretty good punch of his own. You know, one thing, Robin, we have watched heavyweights all over the world, but there is non-stop action when you get these to the lighter division, and the junior featherweights, and obviously on up, certainly keep the activity going as they have in round 2 of the scheduled 12-rounder.
Always a mystery to me why the heavyweights command so much money when the real action in the ring, the real entertainment is often the lighter weights. And I think only in recent years with your Chavezes and people like that, Michael Carvajal, have you seen promoters trying to build up the lighter guys to real moneyed properties?
I think you're starting to see a lot of the cards being more of a diverse card. So many times you saw them, if they had a good heavyweight for the main event, they try to top heavy with 2 or 3 preliminary heavyweights to kind of build up to it. But now they're starting to go to the lighter classes, and I think it really makes for an overall much better card. Here, the World Championship in San Antonio features Welcome Ncita in the white. And again, he has scored some good left hands, but Snead has countered fairly well on him in round 2.
There's a boxing there, Sam. Good round. Very close.
That may be another tough one to score as well. Snead got a couple of good punches in as you take a good look at him. By the way, that's Blackie Ramon, who hails right here from San Antonio, Texas, working with him in the corner. Robert Mitchell, along with Keith Grissom, are in close attendance to Snead's corner.
Well, depending on where you're sitting, Sam, that could have been a round to either fighter, I think.
Good look at Snead, 31 years of age, 5'2", 119 and a half, so fit and ready to go in this 122 class.
Maybe I'll give that one to Snead. It was just the odd, stronger punch there, maybe. Very tough.
I'm going to go ahead and rule that. I'm going to give it a 10-10. I still like it at even round. Neither fighter really taking advantage, and I'm sure there's some conversation going on certainly in that corner with Snead at 31. We're doing fine. Well, let's not get carried away, try to do anything too much early. Let's let the youngster across the way dictate what we can do for a moment and then see how we can counter that.
Well, exactly that. And Ncita comes out strongly, fierily, going forward. Snead comes back.
Let's keep in mind now that Snead also has not fought since May of 1990. So in addition to being 31, he has been very inactive in the ring. But just one look at him, he has trained well, getting ready for this fight.
Neither fighter had any weight problems whatsoever. They came down beautifully to the weight. They were on the button yesterday. They're both fighters in the prime, Should be no hint of weakness in terms of weight loss and so on.
The champion welcomed Ncita in the white. He's a young man who has a great deal of love for his home community of East London, South Africa, to the point of being building a community youth center to help the youth of that community to further their activities and keep them, as he says, out of trouble. And certainly that'll be a way for him to pay the community back that certainly has a love for him. Welcome very much active, more so than he ever was in that fight with Rojas. You see the looping right hands, comes back with a jabbing left. Snead is countering well, but almost to the point of trying to bully inside on Welcome at the moment.
Well, as we said, Sam, that left eye of Snead could be a little bit suspect. We don't know how much you can see out of it, and we noticed that the right is coming across onto that eye as often as Welcome can do it. A right and the left coming in lower down.
Snead, rather than doing so much lunging with the left hand, as we pointed out in rounds 1 and in the start of round 2, there's just a push. They're going to rule it as a slip by Roberto Gonzalez, the referee, so no knockdown here. Welcome has a little blood trickling from the nostril on the left side. Nothing more than a bothersome thing at the moment, though. Snead with a slip here in the third. Welcome now starting to get some punches in. He looks as if he started to measure Snead a bit here in round 3.
Yeah, it looks though Ncita is becoming a puncher rather than a boxer. He's suddenly getting those fists together, flailing a little bit, trying to land those blows as far as possible. Uppercuts if he can.
Snead landing a good right hand over the lead left that time by Welcome, and then Snead with a good combination underneath. So Snead is trying to come back and steal the round, as Welcome had control of it, but now Snead is battling on.
I thought I saw a little trickle of blood there from the right eye of Snead. Maybe it's from Welcome's head, I'm not sure, but has to watch out for Sam.
Snead, there you see, lunging with that left hand again. Closing seconds of this, the third round. And Snead's going to go down to a knee, and they're going to rule this as a knockdown. He got hit with a punch, and then tried to hold on to Welcome before going down, but the knee did touch.
There's blood coming down the chin there of Hurley Snead. Hard to tell if it's a cut over, it's from Welcome Ncita's nose there, but that was a good uppercut, Sam. I think we'll see an uppercut when we have a look at the slow-mo there. Good punch from Welcome Ncita. Reinvigorated Ncita, I think we can say, the last 3 rounds.
It was indeed. He had taken control of round number 3 and had done an excellent job. And the knockdown will just about give him the 10-8. Without a down in that round, he gives him the advantage so far in our unofficial cards. And he's got a good look at Snead there. Let's watch it and see. There's the left hand. There's the uppercut. Yes, it was there. And Snead was wobbly, tried to hold on, but did go down. Good punch. Watch it from a different angle. Right on the button.
That was a great punch. Ncita turned nicely to the side and let it come right through, right from the understairs.
One of the things about Welcome is the fact that he has won 7 of his last 10 fights by knockouts. Is he setting down on his punches that much better, or is he just becoming more proficient at finding ways to get there?
I think since he became a champion, just before he became a champion, he went with Luther Burgess to the Kronk Gym, and I think they honed these punching skills. It was always there, and I think they've shown him how to let it go, how to get the balance right, and really go for it.
A little delay in the corner of Hurley Snead. They had a little bit too much Vaseline on the face. He had him wipe it off before he comes out. This is round 4. Snead has been down in the third now to the champion. Welcome Ncita. And Ncita really fighting well as he backs away from Snead here with a combination coming at him.
Must be a great encouragement there to Ncita, Sam, to come forward now. He knows he can get through with that punch. He knows he's probably hurt Snead a little bit during that third round. He must come forward now, as they thought in training, put the pressure on and see if this man will melt away.
It will be interesting to see how Snead might counter a little bit. He's been down now. Does he come out a little scared as far as, hey, I've got to really make something happen in the fourth to get back in the fight, or does he just keep fighting and hope to throw the big punch?
I think he's got to keep fighting because he knows in terms of reach, he can't outgun the other guy. He's got to get in closer. He's got to get in under those arms and start doing his own damage.
By the way, a third man working in that corner with Luther Burgess that we made mention a moment ago, and Ace Murata, is Malcolm Garrett working over in the corner. Welcome to Ncita. Again, the champion of the world in the IBF junior featherweight division. Snead gamely fighting on, but Welcome just picking his punches in his spots to throw them now. By the way, if this fight should elongate, as we're only in the fourth, Welcome has been 12 rounds 5 times. Snead has been 12 rounds only once in his career.
So relatively unknown territory for Mr. Snead.
Matter of fact, his average round is 9 for Snead, so we're nowhere close to that. For Welcome, it's a little less than that. It's about 6.5. Despite the fact he's had 5 12-rounders.
Well, Hurley Snead in his spare time is an actor, Sam, you know that. He's certainly not planning tonight. He plans, as he says, to pack in boxing eventually, having made enough money for the wife and kids. He'd like to be a mechanic or a pro saxophone player.
Man of a lot of talent.
Yeah, I think so.
Right now, he's trying to defend himself against one of the best in the world. Again, Welcome came into the ring hoping to see what he could do in round 1. It started just that way, unofficially on our cards, an even first round. Robin felt that Welcome picked it up in the second. I still ruled it an even second round. And then came the knockdown of Snead by Welcome in the third, and thus the advantage on the card.
Hard to tell, Sam, but I just feel that somehow Snead lost something when he went down at the end of the third round. He's lost a bit of speed, a bit of snap. There's an edge gone there somewhere.
And there's some crispness still to those punches of Welcome as he throws them well here in round 4. Didn't get much of a feel in talking to those at ringside if this fight would end in what round, if it would be a knockout. Most of them felt it would go into the later rounds and that the younger and possibly the fresher of the two, Welcome and Ncita, would have the upper hand, but they still felt it would be into the 8th, 9th, 10th round, and now we move to round number 5 as the bell sounds to end the 4th round.
Here we got Ace Murata with his hand there on Welcome Ncita's nose, putting some magic stuff up the nose. Ace Murata was not with Welcome Ncita when he fought Rojas. No, they had Eddie Aliano in the corner. I'm just wondering, Ace Murata is such a nice man, a great influence on young boxers, whether that night something was missing for Welcome. He's always been with Ace. All the stuff to me, Sam. Maybe that night he wasn't there. Somehow put Welcome off his stroke. Tonight, Ace is back miraculously after major surgery. He's feeling great. He's back in the corner, patching Welcome up to make him look really good for the next round.
Well, there's something quite obvious that the Burgess folks, the Conk, and certainly the handlers Welcome Ncita go after the vest, and Eddie Aliano, and now Ace Murata to work in the corner. You're talking about two of the best in the game today, and you see him working on him there. It is just the nose. I say that in the fact there are no cuts. It is just the nose, and that is a ever-going problem for a boxer. And again, most of the time it's more of just a nuisance than any kind of problem that you have to overcome in a fight. You also have to start breathing a lot more through your mouth. You'd hope to try to breathe through your nose as much, but that certainly stops that when it does start bleeding.
I think also, Sam, people don't realize how much blood a boxer can swallow. I know some boxers swallow 4 or 5 pints of blood, and they become very, very debilitated. They can't go on. It's very dangerous.
Hurley Snead also is bloody at the nostril. So both fighters are taking some punches on the face. Welcome. You see how well he's using that length and the reach that he has the advantage. Again, at 67 inches to 64 for Snead. Just pouring with the left jab, just keeping Snead at bay, and then throwing the right when he wants to.
Also, he's coming at it from all angles. He's moving that head too beautifully, Sam. Bobbing left, right. He's becoming a very elusive target, very difficult to get hold of. He's posing all sorts of problems to the Hurley Snead.
I did not get to see the Rojas fight, but I tell you what, this may be the sharpest we've seen Welcome in a while. He looks very sharp and very focused on what he needs to do this afternoon.
He looks as sharp to me as when he fought in October in Italy, when you and I both did that fight on the double bill with Brian Mitchell. And he fought Lopez, I think, that night. He looked very sharp indeed and managed to knock him out in 4 or 5 rounds.
As a matter of fact, everybody was talking about Mitchell, of course, the world champion coming out of there, but they walked out of there saying, I better watch Welcome now. Put on quite a show in Italy.
Well, Welcome the Hawk into round 5. On our card, slightly ahead of this stage, Stan.
I think he's got at least a 2, maybe a 3-point advantage, particularly with a knockdown at Snead in the third. Welcome now is starting to get a little bit of puffiness just under the right eye, which would indicate that Snead is able to get the left in, which he did early in the round. Early in the fight, excuse me, and is now starting to get some puffiness under Welcome's right eye. We'll watch that in the corner as well.
Unusual for Ncita, he doesn't cut or damage very much. Also new ground for him if this is going to be the case.
Is this round 5? They're scheduled for 12. This is the World Championship fight for the IBF Junior Featherweight Championship. Welcome, Ncita is the champion out of East London, South Africa. Hurley Snead out of Detroit, Michigan is the challenger today. And his last hurrah. He said he must win today. He hopes to get another shot at a title.
Another great uppercut from Ncita went through there. There was a slide and wobble on Hurley Snead's feet. He moved away, but that went through again, Sam.
You know, Robin, we've been watching that same blood up around the the left eye of Snead. And again, we're not sure if it's not from the face of Welcome or if it is indeed a slight cut now on the outside of the left eye. For Snead, we'll watch it in the corner as well.
Looks to me, though, Sam, they're coming right over on top of us here. There is a slight scratch there.
It is. And it's on the eyelid. So they will watch that as we'll watch Snead go to his corner. Now watch on the left eye. You can see it glistening there. There is a cut, and you can see the blood coming down. So round number 5, another solid one for the champion. And Snead taking the punishment, and now it's starting to show.
His eyebrows nastily split there. Very nasty cut there.
Yeah.
That's certainly a stitchable offense, I think, Sam. It's going to require some medical aid afterwards. That's quite nasty. The ring doctor coming to have a look. The referee also going over. Referees don't like this type of thing. The referee will obviously know that Snead has had a history of eye problems. He'll be very careful about this. There's possibly the punch which did it there.
Could have done it right there.
Hand coming right over and razoring down and ripping that eye open.
We are heading for the 6th round as you take a look. A lot of Vaseline, a lot of coagulant on that left eye. Referee very well may pop some of that off before he gets going, but nonetheless, Snead feels he's ready to go, and welcome Ncita across the way is out, and we're underway in round 6.
Halfway point in this fight then. Welcome Ncita from South Africa. The white shorts against a man in black, Hurley Snead there. Hurley Snead with a couple of nasty cuts on his face. On our card, Sam and myself, we find Welcome Ncita nosing ahead.
And almost throwing a shutout here as we have him at least winning or drawing on all of the rounds so far. Cedric Kushner Productions in cooperation with Mnet Sports bring you World Championship fighting from San Antonio, Texas. The IBF Junior Featherweight title hanging in the balance. The champion, welcome Ncita, is doing a good job at doing another successful defense. As he's bobbing and weaving, staying away so far from Hurley Snead. And fighting well in the end quarters that time.
I think Snead here, Sam, will feel he's got to come forward and do something. He's got to really pull the stops out now. He's got a couple of cuts. He must know the one on his eye. It's a good. He knows he can't go on like this as far as I can see. I'm sure the referee will be watching him every round now.
By the way, it's a large ring here in San Antonio. There is no place to hide in there. It's 20 feet from belt to belt, so there's a lot of room.
Did you hear that one, Sam? That was a Ncita blow right on that eye.
Welcome. You can see bobbing, weaving. Heads in for the punch and then tries to get out of there. Snead trapping his arm against his body that time.
Ncita's got to watch out himself also. He doesn't get a headbutt and get a scratch on his face. It's always easy to get these against the smaller opponents. They come up with their heads.
Punch out, punch out.
Welcome trying to keep his distance from Snead. Snead trying to get in on top of him. Welcome becoming very active when he gets inside now. Doing a very good job in there.
Strangely, Sam, when Snead gets him close, or when Welcome's holding him, we don't see any body blows at all from Snead. Nothing, no flurry. No combos, no combinations, nothing happened. It's very odd.
Doing a lot of head hunting at the moment. Another good right hand by Welcome, and he got another one in right behind it. Closing seconds of the 6th round. Will be halfway through the scheduled 12-rounder. And the Hawk out of East London, South Africa, fighting well. Right cleaning bill on those trucks will be something to overcome, but nonetheless, he may come out of it unscathed other than that.
I'm sure if he wins the title, or retains the title rather, that the promoters will be happy to pay that dry cleaning bill, Sam.
I'm sure there'll be a fresh new pair the next round.
Achieved the last 10 seconds of the round, I think, bicycling a little bit, taking a breather. Halfway through the fight, he knows. I'm sure his corners told him, look, you've got this fight, you're doing okay, the guy's cut. Just keep going, keep the pressure up.
Almost like a good soccer goalie now. He's just going to fend off everything that comes at him.
blow your nose.
As you know, he's got it well in hand if he can just fight his fight. You see him working now just under the left eye of Welcome.
He's fine.
Let's see, ever cold, ever cool. There's a lot of names for it.
The end swell. Yeah.
Yep.
Listen to Luke.
Just trying to keep that swing down underneath that left eye.
All right?
Makes the blood retreat under the skin so it doesn't swell.
That's all right. You blow him out.
Also, I think when you look at a fighter's eyes, adopted like this during a fight, you've got to remember that with someone like Ace Marathi, he's been working on them for 2 days beforehand, rubbing in all sorts of powders, all sorts of cream. What you see in the ring is really the end product of 48 hours work.
Come on. That's all right. Go out.
Interesting point. All right, we move to round 7. There's the bell, and that's it. The champion against Hurley Snead in round 7 of a scheduled 12-rounder. A third-round knockdown by and Welcome Ncita over Snead has pretty much turned this fight back his way after possibly a couple of early even rounds. Snead got a little desperate in rounds 4 and 5, but was unable to do much cutting off of the ring of the champion. And Welcome has made him pay with a good solid right hand to the face. There's the uppercut, which also was the punch that put Snead down earlier. Welcome's really got him measured here, Robin.
Snead's guard is also starting to wander down his chest.
Trying to keep that left up by that left side of his face with the right hand is finding a home, but as you pointed out, about every 2 or 3 punches it drops, and over the top comes the right hand
down
by
there.
Welcome. There it is again. Luther Burgess has spotted a pretty good opening coming right up the middle with that uppercut. It is open. It is there.
Well, Luther Burgess, as we know, knows both guys very well, having worked in the same gym, so he's seen Hurley Snead train in the past, and he's been training his guy Welcome for some time now.
Sam Smith along with Robin Welch. Robin, one of the things about Welcome, getting to go to the Clark Gym, getting that kind of sparring, that's got to be the big plus for Welcome to cheat of the
I
world.
think the whole ethos of the Kronk Gym, being around with guys like Tommy Hearn, other great fighters, is wonderful to a young up-and-coming fighter wherever he comes from. And I think it raises your game. You see the best. You're told about proper diets, proper training, proper treatment. You really feel as though you are a pro. And the whole game of Emmanuel Stewart, whatever he's done in boxing, is to make boxing into professional art. It's properly run from the cradle to the grave, as we say that.
And success certainly breeds success in that situation. Well, it's breeded a great deal of success so far through 7 rounds. Are nearing the end with a minute to go, and this is the 7th. Crowd a little quiet right now. They're waiting for, obviously, the champion to load some punches up. Our Snead to get himself back in this fight after being knocked down in the 3rd.
Actually, we can see with our camera, Sam, there's a fair bit of blood on the ring. There's lots of little spatters and spots all over the ring now.
Don't lean on him. Punch out, punch out.
Hurley Snead's corner saying punch out, but he doesn't punch out. Ncita fooling a little bit.
Snead obliged, too, as he came right at him. Closing seconds of the 7th round. Again, Snead forcibly trying to come in on top of Welcome, who tries to fin him up a la bullfighter style right into the ropes.
Snead here just can't get the measure of Ncita here. Every time he comes in, he slips away, he's gone. There we are, both fighters giving each other a little note of recognition, I think. 2 good pros.
As a referee, of course, collects all the cards between each of the rounds, and if you've ever wondered why they do that, that's strictly for the security of the scoring, because the judge is not allowed, obviously, to change his scoring anywhere after the round is finished. It is handed to the official scorekeeper across the way, tabulated, and, of course, given to us at the end of the fight, which right now is still a few rounds away, but we'll be heading for the 8th round. Does anything change now, Robin? Welcome has been doing so well. Does Hurley Snead get a little more frantic in what he tries to do as we move to the 8th round of a scheduled 12-rounder here?
Well, really, as Snead, as we said before, has got to step up the action. He's got to get closer in. He's not landing anything. And whenever he does get close, Welcome just seems to tie him up, and Snead doesn't punch his way out. Snead's corner was shouting just as we finished that round, punch your way out. He didn't. Welcome to step back. Snead couldn't do anything. Here we go, they into round 8, Sam.
By the way, Blackie Ramon has done an outstanding job with that cut on the left eye of Hurley Snead working in his corner. Well, again, the swelling just under the left eye of the champion, welcome Ncita, is starting to go down, so they're trying to do the best they can to keep that vision in that left eye.
I hope now, Sam, that as Ncita feels he's got this fight within his grasp, only 4 and a bit rounds to go, he doesn't ease up. I think for the sake of himself, his fans and boxing, he's got to put on that grandstand performance. Keep the pressure up, keep the punches. Whether you knock him out doesn't really matter, but you've got to put in those blows. Bicycling back on the ring is not what the fans want.
And quite obviously, we talked about the marquee value, if you will, of the lighter weights. And a good flashy finish here by welcome Ncita should certainly go a long way to securing those bigger and better paydays. And quite obviously, that's why he's in the game today, folks.
Yeah, boxers must realize they're entertainers like anybody else.
Absolutely.
You can't afford to have an off night.
And the entertainment dollar is getting stretched more and more every year.
An uppercut going through. Snead is coming across, just can't get a punch in.
Snead is arm punching right now. He's not trying to, he can't sit down on anything. First of all, he can't find welcome. Still up on his toes, still moving. You see a good example of it right there. Slipping the right cross that had some good punch power behind it, but never got there. And the reach advantage, still an advantage here for welcome in round 8.
Interesting, as we see Snead getting a little bit more tired, Sam. If you watch his legs sometimes and his movements, I'm just wondering whether he's not a converted southpaw. He switches his hips, he switches his body, just very occasionally.
Closing seconds of the 8th round. By the way, quite obviously, all of us waiting for another one of the Brian Mitchell World Championship fights coming up in September. We'll have on in that for you. Brian training, getting ready for his fight out in Sacramento in September.
Yeah, the rematch is on September 13 there in Sacramento. Brian Mitchell against Tony the Tiger Lopez.
Interesting note you told me today, though, that Lopez has taken another fight before that fight in September.
Well, I think he thinks he needs a little warm-up fight, so unfortunately he's going to go ahead with it. But I'm sure he's going to come through unscathed and unhurt.
That may be a very well hand-picked opponent for Lopez if he's got a world title fight in September.
Well, here we are then
for what it's worth.
We've got one heck of a world title fight here. Welcome Ncita, the champ, against Hurley Snead from Detroit, USA, going for it now in round 8.
Punch out.
Snead is still trying. As a matter of fact, from round 1 right to this very moment, he has not changed a bit. He's still trying to come ahead. Welcome still stepping away, bobbing, weaving, angling. As the bell sounds for round number 8, and the scorecards I don't think are changing much. Still quite qualifying a pretty good shutout here for welcome. Possibility of only an even couple of first rounds, but after that it's been pretty much the shutout by welcome as against Snead in his corner. You see no problem with that cut at all here as we head for the night.
Well, as you said, Sam, Hurley Snead here having trouble finding Ncita. He's getting close to him, he can hear him, he can feel him, but he just can't land that blow. Every time he swings, the man is gone. Whoops, into the air.
You see the referee, Mr. Gonzalez, sticking his head in that corner as well. By the way, the 3 judges, we identified them at the top of the show. Our ring announcer, Gordon Wood, Ronnie Ralston from Houston, Mr. Jim Traylor from Norfolk, Virginia, and Tobin Hansen from Copenhagen in Denmark are the 3 judges that are scoring for this fight. And, of course, keep in mind that Mr. Gonzalez, the referee, does not score on a 10-point must system here in the IBF championship fight.
I think both judges, Traylor and Hansen, have done previous welcome fights in Italy. I met them before, so they know how this guy fights.
And, of course, Ronnie Ralston has been all over the world as a World Championship judge, so they are well acclimated to what is expected of them in this championship fight.
Well, here we have, Sam, the Hawk against Dr. Prescription.
His prescription is being a little hard to be read by the pharmacist at the moment. Has not sent all of the pills of punishment, if you will, towards the champion's way.
No, I don't think he's managed to get the cork out of the bottle yet, Sam.
not as of yet. Well, we made mention at the top of this fight that both fighters will be very well conditioned. Snead at 31 is definitely slowing down, and there's one of the reasons why. The right hand of Welcome has really had a home, and it's right on the side of the face of Hurley Snead.
Snead is rocking a little bit there, Sam. There were 2-3 great blows coming through.
There's one thing about him, he's a tough customer, that's for sure. Welcome, you see, leading with that left hand. It's that reach advantage, following it with the right, and there it is again.
Real flurry of blows here from Ncita in the last 15 seconds. Ncita's got to be wary. You've got to come forward, put those blows in, keep going at the right time, then step back, then go forward once again.
And Robin, right now might be the time that Luther Burgess has pulled the string on that uppercut. Snead is starting to dive in, lean over, and that uppercut could be the weapon. And you saw Ncita try to throw it right there.
Well, the last 30 seconds have been almost all one-way traffic, Sam.
On 9 with a minute to go, scheduled for 12. The HemisFair Arena in San Antonio, Texas, USA. Not so far from the fabled monument that is the cornerstone for the Texas independence of Mexico. Back in the 1830s, interesting enough, the monument is the site of a loss by the Texans before they secured their independence from Mexico in nearby Houston, Texas.
I mean, that was the battle John Wayne fought in.
He was here several times, as a matter of fact. Lasted 13 days. This is lasting right now only 9 rounds so far, scheduled for 12.
Step back, turn loose. Box.
Good round here for Welcome Ncita. A real torrid 30-40 seconds.
What he's doing, and he has done it so well, is that he's been the aggressor when it's allowed. He's been the counterpuncher when it's needed. So it's a very, very solid fight here by Welcome Ncita. He's done a great job of preparing himself in what to expect, I think, from Snead. And there's the bell. Maybe the best punch of the fight thrown by Snead at the end of the round, but it didn't land.
I think psychologically there, Sam, Snead is probably now suffering greatly because he just doesn't know what to do. He's been hit hard twice. He was adjudged to have gone down once. He's in a bad way, I would think. In his own brain, he's going to really come back now. He's got 3-4 rounds to do it. We're going to the 9th round. He's up one now, but needs to come back and forth. You see Welcome Ncita with the guys working on the eye. Nothing serious. There's swelling there. Unusual this for Welcome Ncita. Also the nose a little bit bloody, but they're patching him up beautifully. Working on that eye.
One thing you can tell in that corner as well, that's Luther Burgess with the gray hairs back there. Very calmly talking to the champion.
Don't get killed.
He knows what he's done. He knows what he's done well. That's Malcolm Garrett with trying to get the swelling down in that left eye. Looks as if he has good vision out of the eye right now, Robin, so it doesn't seem to be a problem for him. Ready for round 10. And there's the bell, and we're off. The champion, good look at him.
I wouldn't be surprised now, they stand with the eyes like they are for Welcome. A little bit bruised there. He might be keen to get this over and done with. I don't think he wants to go through any more of this.
So many people are saying, what really physically causes the cuts? Well, there's several things. The abrasion of the glove against the skin, but more and more when the puffiness, the swelling is there. It's literally a splitting of the skin. When that punch comes, it just kind of splits it from underneath more so from the outside, and that's what they're worried about on the left eye of Welcome Ncita right now.
Yeah, the constant percussion of the other guy's gloves wears down that spot.
Exactly. Welcome trying to jab, get out of there. Now starting to lunge a little of his own now.
Great.
I'm sure they do not want to cross the way in his corner. Well, as a matter of fact, it's getting a little bit restless here. They would like to see a good exchange. Snead tries to oblige with that left hook.
Nevertheless, Sam, they've been treated to a good world title fight. They've seen action. They've seen two guys willing to go for it. A champion who's really turning the heat on. As we see now, putting those punches together, trying to get after this challenger.
And both fighters are responding to a little more noise here. Snead's a little weary on those feet. He tried to backpedal on his right foot and almost had it crumple under it. About a minute to go here in round number 10. You turned out the lights there for a minute, bro. We're all right, coming to you from San Antonio's HemisFair Arena. Sam Smith along with Robin Welch. Championship time today. Snead still throwing some wild punches, but again, Welcome is not there to accept. Being returned to cinder at the moment.
Yeah, the pattern of the fight has been, Sam, that Snead has just not been able to get to grips with this guy. That long arm has kept him away. Every time he's got in close, Welcome has bobbed and weaved, twisted beautifully, just kept out of the way of those blows coming from his opponent.
Welcome really trying to pick his spots here. Round number 10, he knows full well what the cards are reading. There you see that good, quick foot speed he still possesses here in the 10th.
And he's saying now to Hurley Snead, you want me, you better come after me.
Well, I tell you what, Hurley Snead is becoming a bloody mess, too. He not only is bleeding from the nostril, the eye, but also it looks just to the left side of the lip. Closing seconds of the 10th. According to Snead at time for holding on to the champ. And exchanging right hands. The best thrown by Snead at the end, but not enough to steal that round. As the champion heads back to his corner while in the blue. They go right to work on Hurley Snead, and again, he has had some real problems. And again, they continue in this 10th round from the HemisFair in San Antonio.
Well, 2 rounds to go at your scorecard, Sam, and my scorecard too. We've got Ncita cruising away now.
Yep.
Hurley Snead, the number 4 ranked challenger from Detroit. Welcome Ncita, the champ, 4th title defense, been champ for about 14 months now, defending well here in San Antonio, Sam.
Let's take a look at some of the action from that 10th round. As Welcome really found a home for that right hand throughout the round. And Hurley Snead also tried to do his best of throwing some combinations, but as we pointed out, I think we first noted about the 6th or 7th round, just not a lot of fire in those punches. They're there, but Welcome is just not there to accept them. He's being able to move away so much. Hurley has not been able to find him, and Welcome is not going to be in front of him the rest of this fight. You can bet on that.
Well, unless there's plenty of coal left in the fire. I think that fire went out earlier than that when he was put down in the 3rd there, Sam. So here we go into round 11. Now really 2 rounds for Hurley Snead to pull it out of the bag. Do or die. Welcome Ncita really has got to keep going. Box beautifully, box nicely to keep this title in his pocket.
Possibility of a couple of early, even rounds in 1 and 2. Both fighters just trying to find out what to expect from the other. The knockdown of Snead by the champion in the 3rd. And from there on in, it's been Welcome picking his spots and picking them well. As the hawk is soaring here in Texas. Welcome latching in with the left. Almost using that as an offensive weapon rather than a defensive weapon at the moment.
Significant, Sam, I think, by the time we got into this round 11, thinking back over the fight, I think of only one punch, I think, when Hurd did anything to Welcome Ncita. Right in the early parts of the first round or two,
yes,
there was one punch which Ncita took and stepped back, and that's the last we've seen of it.
As a matter of fact, that was in that 2nd round when you felt possibly that Snead might have won that 2nd round. Very close, very tough to call. But again, that was about the only good punch indeed he had thrown. He's thrown a lot. That's going to be a push. Referee Gonzalez saying no, he was pushed down. Matter of fact, I quickly looked at all 3 judges and all nodded in concurrence with the referee Gonzalez, so they all agree.
You see, once again, Sam, Ncita here is starting to bicycle. He's starting to take it too easy. That type of thing is easy to fall into a trap. You pick up a sucker punch and you're finished. You've got to keep your boxing. He's gone through this fight. He's put a lot of pressure on Snead. He's done the work. Just keep the pressure up. You don't need to go wild, but just don't back off.
You know, it's a very interesting fact. Promoter and the man that promotes Welcome around the world, Cedric Kushner, has moved from his seat down near the corner now of Welcome Ncita. And I'm sure if this does not improve in this round, he may have a couple of words, not physically in the ring. You can't do that.
Hurley Snead is coming back now, Sam.
He definitely is in the 11th.
A couple of blows coming through. He had Welcome Ncita on the ropes.
So Snead is definitely coming back to possibly win maybe his only round of the fight so far, maybe his 2nd at most.
Crowd coming up now behind Hurley Snead. They like to see the underdog try and come back here. Ncita must keep at it. He must keep punching.
He must indeed, as a 31-year-old from Detroit. Snead has gotten a 2nd win. So as they wrestle away here in the 11th round, the champion has gotten a little careless in the 11th round, has got to go to Hurley Snead. Snead in his corner knows that one punch could turn it around, and he's got one last round to try to do it.
I think we even saw Snead thinking what you're saying. So I can do it, I can do it.
Nothing better than a little self-confidence, particularly when you've been a punching bag for the champion the entire fight. Then to get the one big punch in.
It's amazing what must be going through a boxer's mind after 11 rounds here. I still can do it, I still can do it. He's wondering to himself, what has gone wrong here? I've still got belief in myself. Here we see those punches. A very good right hand there. Coming onto the chin and welcome Ncita. Ncita brave enough, safe enough just to tie on, hold on. Did we see that punch again? Yes, it got right through onto Ncita's chin, followed by a left which brushed alongside his head.
A little more activity here, Robin, as Luther Burgess is now encouraging the champion in his 12th round and not let this thing get away with one punch. The crowd will be on their feet as they'll welcome them both out. Referee Roberto Gonzalez has them touch gloves, and this is the 12th round of the IBF Junior Featherweight Championship of the World.
All to play here for welcome Ncita, well ahead on our card. Got to conserve that title by boxing, keeping this man out.
Caution to the wind for Hurley Snead. He leaves himself wide open for a big punch from the champion, but quite obviously Snead has got renewed vigor as well.
After that great uplift by the crowd, suddenly total silence. One extreme to the other here. They should really be screaming now, I think, to get these guys really going on their feet.
Welcome came out, and I think quietly with a couple of right hands. He came out and landed one early on Snead. Snead backed him up, and then Welcome backed him right back up with another right hand. And it did indeed quieten the crowd.
Don't lose, don't lose, don't lose.
They're going to both try to go out with a flurry here. By the way, credit referee Roberto Gonzalez. He has tried to be a rather invisible third man in the ring. Try to let them fight out of clinches. Let them fight. Let them do what they needed to do. You see him slapping them on the back, encouraging them to break on their own. They did not. He separates them.
Yeah, good experience and intrusive referee. That's what we want. Keeps the fight going, keeps the entertainment going.
Good activity inside at time by Welcome. As Snead tried to work on the body, Welcome beat him to it.
Nice slipping and bobbing there, Sam, from Welcome Ncita. He was really moving beautifully, listening to his training advice, keeping that body rhythm, moving, slipping out of those blows coming for his opponent.
Downhill in the 12th round, a minute 12.
According to the rules here, Sam, don't forget, if there's a knockdown at the end of the round, they're going to count on.
Fourth title defense of the title. Won back in March of 1990 over Benechu by the champion, Welcome Ncita. And he's trying to successfully defend it. On the card, still ahead, but he had a rocky 11th round. Now in the 12th, he's just trying to keep himself at bay from Hurley Snead. Snead, realizing this was like a last hurrah, has fought gamely in here against the champion, being out of the ring a year. I don't think his career is quite over. He is going to be a good opponent for some people testing their skills for, I think, some time to come.
Yeah, not a lot of snap in that Hurley Snead punch, but he's very fit, still strong, but he just can't get the measure of this superior champion at this stage.
So the closing seconds of the 12th and final round of the title fight. Hurley Snead with a last hurrah on the 11th. Got the crowd involved, and there's the final punches of the title fight.
Ncita, no doubt in his mind, Sam, he's got it. His corner, I'm sure, are also telling him the same. We've got to get the official result in just a moment. Whilst we're doing that, I'm going to get in the ring, Sam, see if we can get a few words out of Welcome.
Well, it'll be some words. It'll be very interesting to see how he reacted in the late part of this fight. In the fact that he had done such a good job since the knockdown in the third, after a couple of even rounds in 1 and 2, he knocked Snead down. Snead, you see here, accepting the plaudits of the crowd and going over a great show of sportsmanship by both of these fine fighters. But Snead going down in the third, it was a 10-8 round. From that point on, it was a pretty well a shutout by the champion, all the way at least until the 8th or 9th round, which could have been somewhat even. And then as it moved into the 11th round, clearly a win by Snead in the 11th. And Welcome came back to capture the 12th. And on our cards, unofficially, of course, is the champion and retains his title. But we'll wait for the three judges to make their decision, which is being tabulated across the way as we speak here in San Antonio. For those of you that have been watching our championship fight on Mnet, the sports network, we will be cutting away for you, of course, after this. As, of course, those that have traveled from South Africa to enjoy the festivities today have certainly enjoyed it to the fullest, I'm sure. As their champion, and there's an uppercut and the early knockdown that put Snead down. The uppercut put him down. Snead gallantly tried to hang on to try to keep from going down, but finally a knee touched. And you see it from another angle, and the referee, Mr. Gonzalez, said, yep, you're down, and that's a knockdown, and that was in the third. From that point on, it was the champion all the way until the 11th, and again, a solid 12th round. May have just held on to his title unless we foresee some very, very strange scoring from the three judges. Again, the referee does not score, and the champion will retain the title. Gordon Wood, the ring announcer, has the card. We'll be making our announcement very shortly as he comes to center ring.
I'm ready. Stand by.
So with the official announcement, does the champion retain the title or does someone else own it? Let's go upstairs. Gordon Wood has the official announcement on
Come on, Hurley.
today's decision of the World Championship fight in San Antonio.
Right out here, Bobby. Right out here, Bobby. Here you go. Come on. Ladies and gentlemen, before I give the official points, I want to hear it one more time for these exciting young fighters. After 12 action-packed rounds of boxing, I give you the scoring by judges as follows. Judge Ronnie Ralston, he scores about 118-109. Judge Torben Hansen, he scores about 117-111. And Judge Jim Traylor, he scores about 117-110 for the winner by unanimous decision, and still the International Boxing Federation Junior Featherweight Champion of the World. Welcome, the Hawk, Ncita!
Decision, as Welcome gets the decision here by unanimous choice of the judges. Hurley Snead unfortunately drops a loss for a fourth time only. And again, a last hurrah of the 31-year-old challenger has gone by the boards, but again, a good man. Welcome to step into as he gets the belt officially clamped on once again from those of the IBF. That'll be joining our Robin Welch here in just a moment as he comes over. Let's go upstairs now with the champion retaining his title.
Oh,
here,
welcome,
Robin
Ncita.
Welch.
Great fight for you this evening. You look a little bit damaged. It was a hard fight for you.
It was a very hard fight. He was a tough guy. I've never been like this in my fight, but
No, I've never seen you like it before, and I've seen you for the last 5 years.
I'm glad because this is how to show the South Africans how much pain do I go through for them, especially for the unification of sports at home. This is how much do I pay for them.
Now, these eyes, Welcome, with their headbutts, punches, or what? They look very strong punches to me.
Well, this is a punch. You know, on the other side, it's a headbutt. This side, it's a punch, it's a fair punch. It was a tough fight. I mean, his record speaks itself for 39 fights, 2 losses, and those losses...
And your tactics tonight were certainly different from those against Baby Joe Rojas. We saw the old, aggressive Welcome, really fighting, really throwing it all on.
Yeah, I was trying hard, you know. Like I say, the guy was tough, very tough. One thing I noticed, right here in America, they like this type of fight of like bulls. Well, I'm a boxer. I've seen that in Sugar Ray. They didn't like this stuff, but I feel safer. I don't care about the booing or all that side.
Okay, Welcome, thank you. Your manager, Mzee Mguni, the last message from New Zealand, very pleased with that win.
Robert, I'm pleased, and especially Welcome proved that he's still the champion. And before I don't want to talk much about the fight, but all I can thank, I want to thank Mnet. I want to thank John Bokashin Kerry, because without this fight, all the South African people wouldn't be still seeing such a great fight. And I want to thank everybody at home. Stay patient with us. We'll try our best every time.
Okay, guys, thank you very much. Great fight, Welcome. Well done. Let's see you again soon. Okay, then, Mnet viewers in South Africa, we say good night to you. We're staying on here. American viewers.